Statistically speaking, I have always had an animated film on each top 10 list I've compiled since I discovered my love for cinema. Let's take a quick look at the ones that made the cut over the past 10 years or so. How to Train Your Dragon, Rango, Wreck-It Ralph, The Wind Rises, The Lego Movie, Inside Out, Kubo and the Two Strings, Your Name, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and Toy Story 4. The thing is that these are not only high-quality films, but they did something significant in advancing the medium of animation, and they mean something to me personally. It's a combination of objective and subjective impressions upon me. As far as this year goes though, you and I both know that movie releases were already somewhat lacking due to everything that is going on. But to make things worse, there have been fewer good animated movies, which really saddens me as a massive fan of animation. For instance, I made my distaste for Onward very clear with a 25-minute long video essay back in April. Trolls World Tour was a movie that was released. Children of the Sea wasted its impeccable hand-drawn animation on a lame story. And both The Willoughbys and A Whisker Away on Netflix had charming ideas with unmet potential. The only two animations that I thought were fully worth my time were Shaun the Sheep movie Farmageddon and Ride Your Wave. And even then, these movies were good but not great, for the Shaun the Sheep sequel is more or less just dumb fun, and Ride Your Wave has a surprisingly mature story about dealing with the loss of a loved one that ends off with an unnecessarily overblown climax. So yeah, I was seriously in want of another new animated classic, since the last one I remember seeing was Klaus, and that was over a year ago. But fortunately, Apple TV Plus came in clutch and delivered this year's standout animated feature, Wolfwalkers. If this is the first time you've heard of the film though, let me provide you with some quick background information. The film was produced by an Irish animation studio known as Cartoon Saloon. It is very clear to see by their track record that they care not for market trends or studio expectations. For all three of their previous films received high critical acclaim and were each nominated for the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, but look at how much money their movies make. That's probably why you didn't hear about these guys until I just told you about them seconds ago. To be fair though, the movies Cartoon Saloon have made, like I alluded to, aren't exactly the stuff that mainstream audiences would flock to theaters to see. The Secret of Kells is more or less a fantastical tale of how a specific version of the New Testament came to be. Song of the Sea is about a young boy trying to save his younger sister that is half human, half seal, and it's more or less like if Studio Ghibli made their own version of E.T. That's not a criticism at all, this is just what it feels like to me. And then The Breadwinner is about a girl trying to obtain money and food for her family in war-torn Afghanistan. These are all good movies, but they're certainly obscure, and I wouldn't blame the average filmgoer if they skipped out on them. This is why I hope Wolfwalkers will be the movie to finally bring this studio to mainstream attention, because not only is it a film that most anyone could enjoy, it is easily the best animated film I've seen all year. First and foremost, it has the most distinctive and eye-catching set of images found in any animated movie released in 2020. Any animation studio outside of Japan is bold to attempt making a hand-drawn film, but it's even bolder still to produce something like Wolfwalkers with such a geometric, textured look that most audiences aren't accustomed to seeing. It's an aesthetic that is absolutely stunning to see, but it's undeniable that most people who are used to the over-animated, factory-produced cuteness you might get from Disney or Illumination would be thrown off by what they're seeing here. Yet this is a critical reason for why the movie works as well as it does, for it's not just that the film looks great on its own, it's both a combination of the quality of the animation and how it informs everything else there is to know about the story. To reference a popular example of this, take a look at Spider-Verse. If this was made to look like most MCU movies, it would still likely be well received due to its solid screenplay, but it would end up being just yet another superhero movie made by the Hollywood machine. However, the fact that the movie is made to emulate the look and story structure of a comic book is what makes the narrative stand out, and those choices in music, art styles, editing patterns, and even the frame rate make all the difference in what that story tried to do. Going back to Wolfwalkers, we have a movie that takes place in 1600s Ireland, in which our main character is a young girl named Robin who moved from England to Kilkenny with their father Bill. They relocated to this wild, desolate colony far away from their home so that Bill could help tame the wilderness, specifically by eliminating the final wolf pack. Everything comes to a head when the free-spirited Robin goes off on her own to hunt for wolves as well, only to encounter a girl named Mabe who has the unique ability to take the form of a wolf when her human body is sleeping. With all that being said, the specific choices in how the animation flows and appears on screen are directly influenced by the story it's trying to tell, much like Spider-Verse. I'm not really familiar with Irish history, but I probably wouldn't be far off in saying that the film is meant to evoke art and historical artifacts, for even though Wolfwalkers reflects similar artistic flourishes as the other movies Cartoon Saloon has made, it certainly operates on that vibe the most. The characters appear angular and even somewhat rough in their designs, almost as though they are transposed into the animated format from tapestries of the era. But this is not a criticism by any any means, for I say this in complete earnestness and praise of the work these gifted animators put forth. These characters are absolutely striking to look at, and their appearances are reflective of their individual personalities. The roughness of the film's intentionally imperfect look complements everything to do with the film's visual design, for it makes the world depicted on screen tangible, despite being fantastical. Seeing traces of sketch marks and the shapes that artists would draw for their character animations surprisingly makes the animation all the more special, culminating in something magnificent due to its vibrant colors, immaculate details, and sense of movement. And like I alluded to before, the amazing visuals are not just soulless window dressing, they are the perfect accompaniment to a compelling Irish folktale. Now, I will admit that the screenplay isn't quite as strong as the art used to portray it. If you want to break it down to its most basic plot structure, Wolfwalkers is basically an Irish version of Princess Mononoke. Miyazaki influences have run through the veins of this studio previously, but it's most obvious here in how this story plays out. There are also comparisons one could make to How to Train Your Dragon and Disney's take of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, even though I will not dwell into those for the sake of spoilers. I only really criticize the movie for this because the film's visual aesthetic is so immensely innovative, only to be undercut by a story structure we've seen before, treading water previously waded through by many other family films. Even then, Wolfwalkers makes up for that by giving us very likable main characters, the likes of which have motives and desires that one can easily connect with. The central character Robin was particularly compelling, who felt like Merida from Brave if she was actually a good character. She embodies the same trait of being a young girl locked up in a metaphorical cage, only to be set free after having a fateful encounter with the supernatural. The key difference is that she's not an annoying brat who doesn't learn from her mistakes. Her fragile relationship with her father is fraught with genuine pain and longing for better days long past. Robin's desire to make a difference leads her to make inspiring, proactive decisions that can easily get the audience on her side, and ultimately, she grows as a result of her experience. The same goes for Mabe, the girl who Robin meets that possesses the power to have her spirit exist as a wolf outside of her physical body. The reasons for her becoming emotionally attached to Robin and the grander stakes involving the conflict between the English colony and the wilderness result in the stuff of great drama, and I was fully invested in their story. I just found myself getting swept up in the emotions of what I was watching, for even though I could sometimes guess what was going to happen, the combination of the animation, solid character writing, and vocal performances make those moments work anyway. It's a testament to how a story is ultimately saved by its execution rather than its concept. And that is why I wholeheartedly recommend that you watch Wolfwalkers. I can't say that it is the most narratively creative animated movie I've seen, but the way Cartoon Saloon brought it to life with their methods of visual and character-based storytelling make it a wonder to behold. I enjoyed every second I spent gazing on these dazzling images, along with taking in the sounds, feelings, and lasting themes that the film also impressed upon me. At this point, I can only speculate whether Pixar's Soul will be a better animated film than this one, and I really do want it to be great, but for now, Wolfwalkers is the film that I hope has the shot at winning the Oscar this year. And as much as I don't like actively telling people to go support mega corporations like Apple, it's literally only $5 to spend on a month's worth of Apple TV Plus just to watch this.
Do it! Just do it!
Anyway, those are my thoughts on Wolfwalkers. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider subscribing to my channel and joining the notification squadron so that you don't miss out on the videos I make in the future. Have a great one!